Hello and welcome to my channel. Well, it's Veterans Day, and I'd just like to say Happy Veterans Day to all my fellow veterans out there. Um, I just wanted to talk a little bit about how um, the the amount of people that actually join the military from whatever country and everything is pretty low. Back in my time, it was less than 1%, and nowadays, I think it's like 0.02% in America join the military. So it's always a very low percentage of people that join, and no diss to first responders and everything, but a lot of people try to equate uh, being a policeman or a fireman as the same thing as a military. It's not, and there are some major differences there. Like I said, no, I'm not against either one of them. I mean, we need first responders, EMS, police, firemen. They're very important. The big difference is if you don't like your job, you can quit. If you don't like something, you can leave. When you join the military, you don't have that option, uh, and you're basically giving you're basically putting your life in the hands of whatever service that you join. You know, you're basically telling your country, "Here I am. I'm willing to serve my country in whatever capacity they need." And you're in for. I was in for 6 years. I went in 1975, and I got out in 1981. And right after the Vietnam War, it was not popular. That's when we switched over to an all-volunteer army. They eliminated the draft, and I think it's a good thing because then you had people that wanted to be there rather than people that were forced to be there. And of course, they had to pay a little bit more, but it was nothing compared to what you could make outside. Now, don't get me wrong, it it also benefited me quite a bit because I learned electronics, which later on helped me in life. But you're working in conditions that are dangerous even in peacetime, and in my case, I'm working around uh, often around nuclear weapons and forward firing ordnance and stuff like that, and just day to day doing your job is dangerous. Now, I wasn't in a I was in the Cold War. I was willing. I figured when I went in, that we've always been at war. It seems like, so it was only going to be a matter of time before we jumped into another one. I happened to hit the lull, the time when we actually didn't. We weren't involved in any major conflicts and stuff. But uh, all I'm saying is that uh, even in peacetime, people that serve in the military are a different breed that is usually exemplified by sacrifice. You sacrifice your uh, your liberties. A lot of your rights. The military has its own um, law system, the UCMJ, the Universal Code of Military Justice. So a lot of what you thought you had as rights and everything, you don't have when you join the military. Of course, you know that. When you go in, it's not like you're doing something, that you didn't know. On fighters, they carry their electronic countermeasures a lot of times in pods, and that takes the place on a B-52 where they don't carry them in pods, but they're all over the place on an aircraft, head to tail. They've got electronic countermeasure gear in there. And what that stuff is designed to do is warn you and defeat of enemy incoming missiles or threats, and a way to the radar cross section of a B-52 is huge. I mean, you can pick it up easily. So the way they would cover that is a radar operates by sending out megawatts of energy and getting milliwatts back. So if you can give more power on the same frequency coming back, they can't see you. I mean, they can't figure out your range, your altitude, your distance, and stuff like that unless they produce more power to get a stronger reflection. But because you're on an aircraft, you can usually overcome those things by jamming. That's what we call jamming. And the way it looks on a radar is normally you would see a sweep and a blip, and when you have jamming, you see snow. It's just like you're in a snowstorm. You can't tell. We even had sophisticated ones that would take the signal and shift it a little bit to make it appear as more than one aircraft or at different distances. Now, I'm not giving away any secrets. This stuff is known. The big secrets in my career field were the actual frequencies that we operated on, and that was mainly it. And we were low-level maintenance people. They usually wanted the spies and everything wanted officers and stuff like that to get tactics and stuff like that, because B-52s were shot down in Vietnam, and I'm sure the Soviets got a lot of that stuff. The Soviets and the Chinese figured out a lot of that stuff from back then. I first started working on B-52D models that were used in Vietnam in Fort Worth at the time was Carswell Air Force Base, and they are black-bellied and camouflage on top. And if you know anything about Texas, it's hot and humid in the summer, and man, you would bake. Now this one here is a G model. It's a little bit more advanced. They've all been phased out except for the H's now, and many of these aircraft are older. We're older than the people flying them or working on them, and it's just a very good platform, the B-52. We called them Buffs, and it's big, ugly, flying, and yeah, some people call it fellow, but that's not what we call them. And yeah, they were. You earned your little pay when you worked on those things, because it was hot, often dangerous, and long hours. You don't get. We usually work like 12-hour shifts, and we had like a day shift and a night shift a lot of times. And often I was on the night shift. That's just what I seem to operate better on. But yeah, a lot of times you would work on an aircraft, and then you'd have to yank these things out, which we call these the heavies, for obvious reasons. They were heavy, and getting them out of an aircraft from at least that height and down, you can see I was no He-Man, Master of the Universe. You had two people to do that, one on each side. You grab the front handle right up here, and you put your hand on the back, and you pull that thing out. And they started introducing women in our career field, and it's just a physical fact that women don't have the upper body strength of men, not the same. So, not all of them. There was one girl called Meredith, and man, you were happy to see her come help you remove one, because she was stronger than most guys out there. She definitely pulled her weight. But often I would get women that were smaller than me out there, and when we had one of these, it was like, oh no. Because you don't want to drop them when you pull them out. These things are expensive, and you damage the frame, and it's not easy to replace them. And yeah, but anyways, on fighters it's different. You get a little thing called a jammer, and it gets up underneath. It's a bomb loader, and you get up there, and they've got two hooks up here, and you undo those hooks and lower it, and then you can take the thing out and take it apart, and then all this test equipment, that's in there to run tests on the actual ECM pod that you're working on. But yeah, it's I appreciate all the veterans, you know, and Memorial Day is when we celebrate the people that died while in service. So Veterans Day is a little bit different. It's anybody that served, you know, in the military in any branch. And I just want to say thank you to all those people who have served and are serving, because it's a trait that does not seem to be carrying forward with the modern generation. And frankly, I don't blame them. Military promotions being held up because of somebody wanting to counteract woke policies. The officers didn't have anything to do with that. They joined the military. It's usually a non-political thing, and this is hurting our readiness. They finally named a commandant of the Marine Corps, and he had a heart attack because he's trying to do two jobs at once. And Tuberville, the guy that's sitting there, he thinks that being a coach is the same as being in the military. You are so wrong and so stupid. I don't want to get into politics much, but I mean, this really pisses me off that people that volunteer and sacrifice for their country are being held back by people that have never served, and then want to say that they think that they're the same as somebody that has served. No, it's not the same. You know, you can claim all you want, but it's not the same. So I don't want to get upset or anything, but I'm just saying it bothers me the way that our country seems to be going downhill. And we swore an oath to protect the Constitution of the United States, not the president, not the current president, whoever he was, the Constitution. So as long as somebody wants to follow and go by the Constitution, hey, they got my vote. I thought I'd just spout out my little stuff, and I'm probably going to have to edit this, because even though it's my opinion, I don't want to alienate people. I don't want to get people upset and think that, you know, I'm against them. You can believe whatever you want. You know, that's why we're in a democracy. Because people before you and me fought for our right to disagree. When you're in a dictatorship, you don't get to disagree. You've got to speak the party line. So let's keep America a democracy, and I hope the best for everyone out there. You know, whether you're in the military or not, whether you served or not. A lot of people couldn't serve. They wanted to, but they had a medical condition or something like that, and they couldn't. It's that willingness to serve that is, I think, lacking in a lot of. I know it sounds like when I was a kid, but I mean, really, I mean, there's things out there where they say Generation Z or whatever doesn't want to work. Who wants to work, you know? But you have to. You can't just expect society to take care of you. You gotta get out there and work or starve. Now, a lot of times you don't have to starve because we've got social programs to take care of you for that. But still, I've rambled on too long. But anyways, I just wanted to thank all my veterans out there. Thank you for watching, and have a nice day.